All right, you can see I have several pieces that have already been stamped and die cut. These are from the Lawn Fawn Little Bundle set, and I am going to be using my Ohuhu markers. They're the Honolulu Series Markers to color these pieces. This is going to end up going on the front of a baby shower card. I'm going to start out by adding a little bit of the darker layer. I'm using B290 to get started. And then I'm going to go back and color a little bit, blend a little bit with the B270, laying that darker edge, and then coming back and softening that up with a lighter color is going to give us a nice bit of detail when it comes to a shadowed look. We've got a little bib. I'm actually going to use the exact same colors for my little birds here. The baby showers that I will be attending are for mamas-to-be of little boys. If we were to have a little girl, I might go with maybe like a lighter color yellow, maybe a purple, something fun and playful. Coming back in with my lighter shade of blue, the B270. Blend those blues together. Look at these sweet little birds. These I am planning to have added to my sentiment strip that I will be creating here in just a moment. You'll notice that I went outside the edge just a bit there. I'm not going to worry about that because I can come back in with my Jelly Roll pen and go ahead and cover that little mistake up. Just a chance to use a few more supplies on this project. So now we have our birds matching our bib. Cute, playful, and colorful. Set the blues aside. I am going to come in with a yellow that I'm planning to add to one of our other pieces in a bit, just so that it will coordinate. I am using a painter's tape here to hold together all of my little bits, keep them in place. Now I'm going to move on to the overalls, and I am using two greens. I'm using G270 and G240. I'll start with G270 and lay down some of that darker color on the edge. Give us a nice shadow. And I'm going to do the entire hem of these pants in that darker green as well. Just give a little bit of an accent to it. Come in with my lighter green. Start by blending just a little bit, softening the lines that I put in initially, and then sweeping over and across. It'll give us a nice sense of color and depth on our finished product. I am trying to use just one layer of that green. My hope is that where these are alcohol ink markers, that they will kind of fill in and you will not really see the defined stroke lines. That is the beauty of these alcohol inks. I'm going to go ahead and get the little straps on our overalls here. And then I'm going to come in with our darker green and color in this little pocket. Just make that pop a little bit. I'm going to go back in with that yellow that I had used on the little bird's beaks, Y260, and color in our little buttons. Cute! And then I'm going to pull in a couple of reds to do our onesie. I have R230 and R160. I'm going to start with R230, add a little bit of color here on the edge of the onesie. I think I'll add just a bit here at the collar and on the edge of the sleeves. Cap that, come in with the R160, add a little color over my initial color, give it a little bit of a blend, soften that color. And then I'll come back, try to hit it with just one layer, see how that does. I may need to do just a little bit of feathering so that we get a nice color blend. And then come down in and around the snap bits. All right, I'm going to take my marker and just go once over everything. Give it a nice smooth look. And now I'm going to leave everything right on here. Let that dry out just a wee bit before I come back and add my white accent with my white jelly roll. I have 3 critters that I will be putting together to go on the front of the card. First, we're going to start with our little hedgehog, cute as can be. I have several different shades of grays that I am going to be using on this little guy. Let me just pull all of those bits over. All right. I'm going to start by helping to define his face and his little paws by using the Cool Gray 00. To do that, I'm going to go in and around and just wrap right around his little chin, chubby little chin. And then I'm going to put gray over the entire portion here. Give it a nice once over, blend all those marks together. And then I'm going to come over and do his little hands. And there's a little section here, little indent that was left behind by the die. Get those. Probably hear my family downstairs talking, trying to figure out their plans for the evening. All right, so we're going to come over here, and I'm going to start with a Cool Gray 04, and I can see the spot, the outline of where our little groundhog face and head is going to go. And so I'm just going to start by sweeping my marker around this little guy. Add some depth to his little quills. Then I'm going to pull in Cool Gray 07. Add a few flicks here and there, and I'll come back with another darker gray. Doesn't matter that I'm coming inside because that's going to get covered up by his little chubby body here in just a minute. Go around. There's that. And then last but not least, Cool Gray 09, and go in and fill that in. We did start with a gray background. My thought was it's a good base for us to start. Probably won't need to use as much ink. And if we have little spots here and there that we don't get flicked or included in this coloring, it's already gray, so it'll blend and look good. So here's this little guy. We're going to pull this up. He does have these little hands right here, and I'm going to poke those through because that is going to hold one of the clothing bits that we were coloring earlier. Just coming around using my Barely Arts glue, and I shall slide that right in there. So I've got this little guy. Go ahead and we'll fix his little ears, his eyes, his little nose. And I have a pickup tool here that I can use to get these little pieces put on. Give him some little pink, pale pink ears. And a little pale pink nose. And I actually die cut a couple of little black eyes for him. I had tried to color those earlier, and I didn't like the look of it as well as the die cut bit. So I'm just trying to get that turned right side up. And there's our little hedgehog, cute as can be. And we are gonna let the hedgehog hold on to our little onesie. And then we'll move on to our next little critter. Come here, you little one. Alrighty, there we go. Cute, cute, cute. Add a little glue to his hand. A little glue here. And we'll push those into place. Hold them for just a moment. And now I can come in with my little jelly roll pen and add just a little bit of detail to this sweet little top. All right, there's one guy down. Let's go ahead and see if we can get to the next. The next critter we're going to put together is our fox. There's a little bit less to do as far as coloring on our fox because it does have several pieces that are added to the top that are a different color. I didn't feel like I needed to go in and give further definition to his little face. It seemed to go quite nicely as it was. Slide that up just a bit. There we go. And then we're going to get his little belly, but before I glue anything, push his little hands through so that I can make sure I don't accidentally glue the little hands down. There's that. I'll put his little tummy together. And let's see. Use my reverse tweezers there to grab that. Add a little glue. Put his belly, little white tummy on. There we go. And then we're going to have a little nose, sweet little eyes, and some little ear tufts. This guy comes together pretty quick. Here's our first ear tuft. Push that over in place just right. Let's see if yep, there's another one. It's already the right direction. We'll push that into place. And then let's get our little eyeballs. There's one little beady eyeball. Two little beady eyeballs. And let's see what we can do here for a nose. This one is already going in the right direction, so I am going to opt for that. Just a little bit less fussing. Come here, buddy. Get your nose on. All the better to sniff out some treasures. And then we are going to add a little bib to this guy. Slide his little paws open. Slide the top of that little bib up in there. And then let's see, do we need to glue his little paws down? Maybe, just a bit. And I actually think I'm going to end up holding those paws down with my tweezers. So I'll give that a minute. Pull out that jelly roll pen. Add a little accent. Cute as can be. And that is critter number 2 done. All right, so critter number 3. This guy, kind of like our groundhog, does not have a really well-defined face. So I am using the contour of the impression left behind by the die cut to go ahead and help define that with my markers. Just going to go ahead, draw that face a little bit darker than the body. You see his little chinny chin chin. Come around to the paws, get that little indentation there. Now there's just that little edge right there that I'm adding, and probably nobody would even notice that, but I did. So I went ahead and added a little bit of color to it. Get this other little paw. And his paws too will get to hold a clothing item. Finish. Whoops, right there, missed a spot. All right. So Mr. Bear is gonna get his little paws popped forward. And then we have some little bits for him. Get some little ears. Come on. My glue's being stubborn. Here we go. And some little eyeballs. And a spot for his snout. So start by taking a look. That's upside down. There we go. His little nose, cute. And then let's see. We've got a little black dot for an eye there. And another here. Probably go back with a Jelly Roll pen and add a little detail. Adding some little pink spots for the ears. Now, it's on the tip, but it's upside down. So let's see if I can fix that. Come here. Get that, oops, get that on there. And we will set this to dry. Grab those little overalls. Oh, clearly this was a scrap of something else that I had decided didn't work. So, no problem. We'll tuck those overalls right into his meaty little paws. Give him a little bit of glue on the back. And let those paws hold on to those pants. Oops, come on, little guy. This is helpful to have these tweezers to help hold it as it dries. And as it's drying, I am going to add just a little bit of a white accent and bring that down here on the pocket. And I am tickled. All right, we've got all of our little bits and pieces done, and now it's time to put everything together. So I found this pattern paper that I thought was really pretty. I cut this to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I found a solid piece to go behind that just because I like the looks of mats, and I cut that to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper cut in half. So my finished card size will be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You can see that it is a folded card. One of the things that I like to do is make sure I always sign the back of my artwork, my card, and that way people will remember that it was created just for them. So let's go ahead and get it all put together. Originally, I had thought that I was going to do a full sentiment strip, and then I ended up deciding that I liked the look of stamping on the background. So that is something that is different than I had initially planned. And see, this is some double-sided pattern paper. Go ahead and put this piece on. And I did play with this a little bit to try and decide what I was going to end up putting where. And I decided that the bear would come on this side so that I could get my sentiment on there in a way that I liked the look of. So you've got our little bear here. Stick him down. And then I'm going to get my little, I don't know, hedgehog, porcupine cuteness on the opposite side. And I liked separating the two of these because they both have those blacks and grays tones to them. So I'm going to put my fox here in the middle to just break that up a wee bit. And tuck that down between the two. And then I still have my two little birds that I did go ahead and add a little bit of the white gel pen accent to. I'm gonna tuck this little bird so it looks like he's kind of holding that word welcome. And then I'll grab, maybe, this other little one and put some glue on and put it down beside boy. And the last thing I'm going to do is put on a little bit of this Ranger glossy accent for the eyes. This does take a while to dry, so be aware if you are going to use it that you need to make sure you have a place where you can set your project to dry for a period of time. Give our fox some beautiful glassy eyes. And there we have it, all done.